Hi there, my name's Jolie BigEagle-Kequahtooway, and my spirit name is Zitkanahowashtay, which means morning bird with good voice. And I'm here in the Buffalo Room at the Royal Saskatchewan Museum, and I wanted to share a story today about why Regina has a nickname, and Regina's nickname is Pile of Bones, and it's actually Pile of Buffalo Bones. And so there's a question that I had a few years ago. My family and I were doing a family picture in Regina, and so we were scouting out locations for best shot or best background image. So we went to the grasshopper across the street. There's a turtle along College Avenue. There is this winged creature on the corner of Broad and College, and there's a beaver in Les Sherman Park. So they had all these animals kind of scattered out throughout the city here. And then we started to say, well, where are the buffalo? So we went to go look for some of the buffalo images and to take family pictures with those in the background. And then it led to the deeper question of what happened to the buffalo? And so the words I heard growing up were the buffalo vanished, the buffalo disappeared. And, and I never really thought about what that meant. Like, was it a portal? Did a portal open up and they disappeared into the portal? How did they vanish? Where did they go? And how many buffalo were there? And so, some of the people would say there were 30 million, 60 million, and up to 125 million buffalo roam this land we call North America. And not just in the plains. If you look at a map of some of the archaeologists that have created these maps of where the buffalo roam, they start just a little bit east of us in Manitoba. Then their territory goes under the Great Lakes into the northern states like Pennsylvania, then down along the coast into Florida, then across into Texas, Mexico, and then up along the Rocky Mountains all the way up to Alaska, and then coming diagonal down through Nunavut and Northwest Territories and back into Manitoba. So the buffalo weren't just plains, they were all of North America. So we all come from the Buffalo Nation if you live in those areas. And so what happened to the buffalo, and it hasn't been that long, maybe about 200 years ago to 150 years ago, the buffalo were being killed off in order to have this land settled. And so there were a lot of people who came to this land and didn't know that there were buffalo here or indigenous people here, but they knew that they were offered land, and the governments of the US and Canada thought that if we get rid of those buffalo, then we can settle the land. And unfortunately, we relied on the buffalo for everything, from our clothing, our shelter, our food, everything you could think of. They were our Walmart, our superstore. Without them, we would surely die. And so at the time, there were also a lot of civil wars going on in the States, and they were between the governments and the indigenous people of the different areas. And so these wars are really expensive. And so there was a general named General Sherman who came up with the idea that if we kill the buffalo, then we get rid of the resources of the indigenous people, and then we don't have to pay soldiers or feed them or shelter them or clothe them. So if we give people rifle bullets, or we encourage people to sport kill the buffalo, then we can wipe out the buffalo, and then we could stop these Indian wars, is what they called them back then. And we could take the land. And if we sign peace treaties, then we can force people onto reservations, and then we would have all the land, and we wouldn't have these wars anymore. And then there wouldn't be any buffalo, and we could put the cattle on the land. And so when I look at Regina and the nickname that it has, I never even thought about the buffalo, but the nickname actually means pile of buffalo bones. And so a long time ago, when all those buffalo were being killed off and sport hunted and killed when the land was being settled, A lot of the people, the immigrants and newcomers to this land, when they arrived here, all the buffalo were already killed off by the soldiers, by people who wanted to get rid of the buffalo. And so the indigenous people were left to deal with the bones on the land. And a lot of them knew that that meant the end of the way of living for that they had lived like for thousands of years. So a lot of them went into a state of mourning. And you would say some of our people are still mourning the loss of the buffalo, the genocide of the buffalo. And so all these bones were left out on the land. And some people started to say, you know what, if we collect them and we pile them up, and we pile them up in the shape of a railway car, then we could get money for them. And they would ship them down east, and you could turn buffalo bone into fertilizer, bone china, or even use it to refine sugar, because sugar's naturally yellow, so to make it white, you use those bones to chemically process them. So that's what happened to all the bones, all the buffalo bones, is they were, ironically, a lot of them are turned into little tiny bone pieces and spread out all along this land as fertilizer. And so that's why Regina has the name Pile of Bones, is that's what happened here 150 years ago. So to myself as an Indigenous person, it isn't a good nickname, but it's a reminder of the past, and a reminder that there were struggles and that there were things that happened to Indigenous people that aren't necessarily proud moments of history, but are also moments of history that aren't shared to the general public, but they should be known. So it's important to know our history so that we don't recreate it and do similar things in the future. So I'm really glad to be able to share this story with you, because one day hopefully it'll be in our history books, and all of our people will know the true story of what happened to the buffalo. So Nama'ai, thank you for listening. Matakio Asin. Have a good day.